Okay, let's just jump right in. We are talking about the biggest move of the entire coaching cycle. This is a massive shift of power in the NFL.
Huge.
The New York Giants didn't just go out and find a new head coach. They went and got the guy. They landed John Harbaugh.
It's an absolute blockbuster. And for you listening, this is why we do this deep dive.
Yeah.
We're going to get past the headlines and really look at the strategy, the desperation, really, that let the Giants make this happen so fast.
And the money. We have to talk about the money.
Oh, we will. And we'll get into the roster he inherits because it's a fascinating situation.
So let's get the facts straight first. John Harbaugh, Super Bowl champion, the longtime face of the Baltimore Ravens, he is now the guy for the New York Giants.
Yeah, and the news broke fast. NFL Network's Mike Garofalo and Ian Rappaport had it first, then ESPN was right on it.
And the deal itself tells a story, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
They're finalizing a 5-year contract. And this isn't just a standard contract, you know. This immediately makes him one of the highest paid coaches in the league.
Which is a statement. That's not a short-term fix. That is the Giants saying, this is our foundational pillar for the foreseeable future.
Exactly. You don't make that kind of investment unless you're buying stability.
So to really get the weight of this, you have to understand how a coach like John Harbaugh even becomes available in the first place. I mean, these guys don't just, grow on trees.
No, they don't. His time in Baltimore was remarkable. We're talking 18 seasons. He's the winningest coach in their history, period.
By a lot, right?
By 100 wins, 180 wins in the regular season. He took them to the playoffs 12 times in 18 years, and of course won Super Bowl 47. That is an elite resume.
So then what happened? How do you go from that legacy to being dismissed?
It all came down to 2025. The expectations in Baltimore were sky high. Super Bowl or bust, basically.
And they missed the playoffs.
They missed the playoff. They lost to the Steelers in Week 18, and that was it. He was let go 2 days later. It's just a brutal reminder that in this league, even a great history only buys you so much time.
And while that door was closing in Baltimore, another one was swinging wide open in New York. And the Giants they were more than ready.
They're desperate. You have to remember the kind of franchise the Giants are. Founded in 1925, 4 Super Bowls. But the last one was way back in 2011.
A lifetime ago in the NFL.
And since then, just instability. Ever since Tom Coughlin left after 2015, it has been a coaching carousel.
Oh, it's the worst thing in sports. I mean, think about it. McAdoo, Shermer, Judge, Dable. 5 full-time coaches, all while Harbaugh was still putting up winning seasons in Baltimore.
That kind of turnover, it just poisons everything. Player development, culture, identity, all of it.
And the record shows it. 4-13 last year. Only 13 wins total in the last 3 seasons.
So when they fired Brian Dable in November, you knew they were gearing up for something big. They needed an antidote.
And Harbaugh was their guy from the start. First choice is what we're hearing from inside the organization.
What's really wild is just how fast they moved to lock him up. They had their first, official interview on a Wednesday, but the groundwork for this had clearly been laid for a while. They had to move fast, though. They weren't the only ones interested. Not at all. The Falcons and the Titans were in on him. Concrete interest.
I love this part of the story. The Titans were reportedly sending a whole team down to Baltimore on Thursday morning for an interview.
And that plane never took off.
Never took off. The Giants got the deal done late Wednesday night. They just completely shut the door on their competition.
It just shows you what decisive action and, let's be honest, a massive contract offer can do. They bought certainty.
It's a huge organizational win. And you have to love the family angle, with his brother Jim, the Chargers coach, hoping he'd end up in the NFC.
Well, he got his wish. Jim said whichever team got John would be formidable right away. And now, that rivalry in the NFC East just got very, very interesting.
Okay, so the deal is done. He's in New York. What's the mission? What's his actual mandate here?
It's not just about winning games. The mandate, from what we're reading, is to return the Giants to their status as a perennial NFC powerhouse.
That's a heavy job description.
It is, but that's what they paid for.
Hmm.
Now, the sources are saying that even with that 4-13 record, the roster is far from depleted. And I have to push back a little on that. I mean, a 4-13 team is still a 4-13 team.
That's fair, but I think it's not about the depth. It's about the core pieces, the foundational talent.
Okay, so walk me through it. Let's start with the most important position.
Quarterback. Jaxson, their first-round pick from 2025. He's a dual-threat guy. Showed some real flashes as a rookie.
And here's the detail I find most telling. Dart was apparently part of the interview process with Harbaugh.
That's huge. That tells you the front office sees this as a long-term pairing. It gives Harbaugh instant buy-in from his young quarterback.
And Harbaugh's worked with all types, right?
Yep.
From a pocket passer like Flacco to a dynamic runner like Jaxson. Dart fits right in that mold.
Plus, he's got protection. Andrew Thomas at left tackle is one of the best in the entire league.
So you have the quarterback and the blindside protector. That's the spine of your offense right there.
And then you get two huge weapons back just by getting them healthy. Malik Nabers, the receiver, and Cam Scatema, the running back, both coming back from season-ending injuries. That's like a mini free agency class right there.
All right, so the offense has pieces. What about the other side of the ball? Defense is the Giants' identity, historically.
And the talent is there, especially up front. A notable defensive line is the quote. You got Pro Bowler Brian Burns on the edge, Dexter Lawrence eating up space in the middle, and Abdul Carter, a former third overall pick.
So you got talent in the trenches on both sides. That's always a good starting point.
Which brings us to the big question. If the talent is there, why the 4-13 record? What does Harbaugh need to change? Is he going to come in and install a whole new system?
And this is maybe the most interesting part of the whole story. The sources are suggesting that his primary impact is not expected to be tactical. It's not about the X's and O's, at least not at first.
It's about culture.
It is 100% about changing the culture and building confidence. After that coaching carousel, after all the losing, they need someone to come in and just be the authority, to set a standard.
That makes so much sense. Harbaugh's style, that intense, demanding, accountable approach, it's the exact medicine for what has ailed that organization.
He's a culture shock in the best possible way.
And one of his first jobs is putting together a staff. Do we know who's coming with him?
We do. And this is a massive piece of news. Todd Monken, his offensive coordinator in Baltimore for the last 3 seasons, is joining him in New York.
Wow. Okay, so that's instant continuity.
Instant. Monken knows the system. He knows Harbaugh's expectations. That relationship is already built. It lets Harbaugh focus his energy elsewhere, like on the defense and in the locker room.
And it gives Jaxson Dart a familiar system to grow in. You're not starting from scratch.
Exactly. They're basically importing a successful system directly into their building.
And for Harbaugh, this is a return home in a way.
Yeah, it's a great little detail. He was the special teams coordinator for the Eagles for almost a decade, from '98 to 2007. He knows the NFC East. He knows the rivalries, the media pressure. He's not walking in blind.
So this all leads to the big storyline we'll be watching before the season starts, the power dynamic. How does he work with the GM, Joe Schoen?
That's the key relationship. When you make a coach one of the highest paid in the league, you're giving him a lot of power. How they work together on the draft, on building this thing, that will be fascinating. This is a signal that the ownership trusts Harbaugh's vision completely.
The consensus seems to be that this is just a perfect fit, a legendary coach for a legendary franchise that's been lost in the wilderness.
It is. They got their man. And the ripple effect is immediate. The whole coaching carousel just sped up. Atlanta and Tennessee are now scrambling for Plan B. The Giants set the market.
So to sum it all up, this is a massive investment in a proven winner. The goal isn't just to win more games, it's to change the entire culture and elevate the young talent they already have.
Right. Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on. We've established that the Giants have been plagued by instability. And we know Harbaugh's biggest strength is seen as cultural change, instilling that discipline.
Right.
So my question is this. Which single player on that roster needs Harbaugh's impact the most to really kickstart this new era? Is it the young QB, Jaxson Dart, who needs that structure to reach his potential? Or is it a veteran leader, a guy like Brian Burns, who needs to be empowered to lead that defense?
That's a great question, because whoever Harbaugh unlocks first could really define the next 5 years in New York. The big fish is in the boat. The NFC East just got a whole lot more fun.
It sure did.
Thanks for diving deep with us on this one. We'll see you next time.